Can you hear me? Is the microphone on? Yes. I wanted to ask you a quick question. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word the Middle East? Be honest, shout it out. We're a small group right now. Middle East. Tarek Mango. Thank you, sir. Excuse me? Danger. Money? Anybody else? So we have danger, we have Tarek Mango, we have money. Nice people? Thank you. Come on, a couple more. Help me along here. Entrepreneurial spirit? Perfect. Hospitality. Excellent. Well, today I want to share with you a couple of major concepts that I've learned over roughly 2 decades of living and working in the Middle East. First one is what you don't know about the Middle East can cost you a lot of lost opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities in the Middle East, but unfortunately, most people don't understand the Middle East and its essence. So it's imperative for you to do your homework to seize these opportunities, because what you don't know will lead to lost opportunities in the Middle East. Now, I want to share with you a term that I coined. It's called souk culture. Not soup, but souk. And souk in Arabic means market. And souk culture is important because it defines your opportunity and your opportunities in the Middle East. There we go. Now, when I travel the Middle East, there's one thing that I've always noticed. It's a common theme or a common denominator, that on any given night in any major city in the Middle East, people will come out of the woodwork. When the sun sets, the roads become packed with cars that are honking, lights are flashing, billboards that are advertising, marketing, branding. You can walk down any sidewalk or any street and you can see people in coffee shops smoking hubbly bubbly, the shisha, the peace pipe, people playing cards with their family members, people filling up restaurants. You can smell in the air the shawarma, the grilled meat, the kebabs, the spices. The malls are packed with consumers that are running around like crazy. They have bags full of products and goods that they purchase. Husbands and wives will go to the souk. The souk here in Damascus, Al-Hamadiyya Market, is one of the oldest souks in the Middle East. So the consumers, your consumers, are spending money. These consumers want your product. It's estimated by 2025 that Generation Y in the Middle East will be roughly between 150 and 175 million consumers. These 150 to 175 million consumers are educated, they are desiring American products, they have the purchasing power, they make up the most heterogeneous consumer environment in the world. This group is also part of a 400 million and fastly growing population base. The second fastest growing population on the planet after sub-Saharan Africa is the Middle East. So, again, this is a group that I call the consumer group. These are people that want US products. These are folks that believe in made in America. So there is an opportunity for your product and for US companies. Now, on a recent trip that I had, I traveled to Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia. And I hadn't been to Riyadh for a couple of years. In that time period, I traveled quite a bit to Jeddah. My client had sent his driver to pick me up from the airport. And on my way from, as we left the airport and we're heading to Riyadh, the capital, I remember thinking to myself, what is that large structure in the distance? And as we got closer, the structure got larger and it was still there for about 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, what is this? I was intrigued. And I remember thinking to myself, is this going to end? So I asked the taxi driver, or the driver, and the driver said to me, this is a multi-billion-dollar project that the government has initiated to build the largest female university in the world. And it is Princess Nuwara University. In that university, there is a light rail system. There are cinemas. There are malls. There are apartment complexes. It's just vast and unbelievable. And he said to me, he said, you know what, the reason why they built this is because the Saudis have a lot of surpluses. or have a large surplus, excuse me, compared to other states in the Gulf. And they want to keep their people happy. And he said, every project that's being built here is a mega project. So the point here is, yet again, here are consumers. Here is a consumer that is a government that is looking for US products, US expertise, consumer goods, manufacturing, and the list goes on. So I call that the surplus opportunity. So we spoke about the consumer opportunity, we spoke about the surplus opportunity. Fast forward to, or go east to Dubai. How many people have been to Dubai? Couple. Dubai, very impressive. So the picture of the towers was taken, I took that in 2003. And in 2003, those towers were the only towers on a street called Sheikh Zayed. Sheikh Zayed is a famous road in Dubai, which is akin to State Street here in Utah, but goes on for miles and connects with Abu Dhabi, the capital of the UAE. Those two towers, Emirate Towers, like I said, nothing around them. Fast forward to the picture that is above the towers that I took a couple months ago. Sheikh Zayed has been populated with the most interesting skyline of skyscrapers in the world. Mega projects, you can go snow skiing in the desert. You can go and visit the palms. The list goes on. So, the government of the UAE, or Dubai, has decided to basically move away from an oil-based economy, and they want to transition to a service economy, which they've done a great job. So I've coined the term, this is a transitional opportunity, because not only do you have in Dubai a government that's trying to make their city a cosmopolitan city where people from around the world come to visit. In Dubai, every year, in January and February, have you heard of the holiday shopping festival? For 1 month, people from around Europe and around the world converge on Dubai to do shopping. So here you have a government that's the transitional opportunity. They have surpluses. They're using their surpluses between the public and private sector to build mega projects. They have a consumer base that's in the UAE and from abroad that's buying product. They have multinationals that are setting up shops and setting up their businesses in the UAE. So here you have a transitional opportunity where these folks are looking for your brands, these folks are looking for your services, these folks want American products. Again, the most heterogeneous consumer environment in the world. These folks, like I said, Generation Y, are looking for specifically US products. So, opportunities for us and for US companies to consider. Now, let me share a story with you that I had. Now, a bunch of you had shouted out the first thoughts that came to your mind. Thank you very much. Very positive thoughts, as a matter of fact. Usually it's not the case with the Middle East. So, about a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, I had a conversation with a CEO of a Utah company. They had just hired a young sales manager, international sales manager. He'd been on the job for about 9 months. So I asked the CEO and his executive team, I said, it would be a great idea if you would send your sales manager to the Middle East, to a trade show, a large trade show, and for him to meet our clients and our prospective clients. Several weeks had passed by, and no affirmative decision was made. So I called the CEO up and I said, why have you not made a decision? Is there a reason? And he said, Tarek, frankly, let me tell you what the executive team and myself are thinking. We're scared. This is a young hire. He has a young family, and we're worried if he goes to the Middle East, he'll get kidnapped, or it might be basically, there might be a terrorist attack and get blown up, and he won't come back safe to us. And I said, fair. And I said, well, look, he's coming with us, so he'll be hopefully protected enough, and he'll be in good hands. But let me make an arrangement with you. And I said, we'll try to make him feel like he's at home. So what about if I make sure that he comes back with 4 wives, a herd of camels, and a barrel of oil? Will that make you feel happy? And he said, if you make that deal, I will come with you to Dubai. So anyway, so fast forward, the young manager joined us. I asked the young manager when he returned, I said, what was your experience like? Did you have a good time? He said, I was blown away by Dubai. Probably not the best choice of words, however, he had a good time. But to me, the most important part of this was the fact that the CEO and the executive team had this negative sort of ignorance about the Middle East, which what you don't know about the Middle East can lead to a lot of lost opportunities, and that indeed was the case. Now, these were opportunities that had been established for a while. Business had been going concern, but there were new opportunities. So you couldn't quantify his trip by the bottom line, but you could quantify it where the business people in the Middle East were so impressed that the company would spend the money to actually send out a young hire to meet them. So the intangibles and the trust had been built. But the point here is that because of the negative connotations out there, they could have easily not sent him, and there would have been a domino effect down the line. Now, let me share with you another experience. Or let me ask you this question. Do you know how many princesses there are in Saudi Arabia? Any of you? A lot? Pretty close. Anybody want to throw a number out? Okay. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is I had a conversation with the CEO of a major Utah company. And we had approached them because we wanted to, one of our clients in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia, wanted to be the representative for their product. We knew from the beginning that there were going to be challenges to introduce the product into Saudi Arabia. However, in our discussions, one day the CEO called me up and said, Tarek, look, we know that we have challenges to get the product into the Middle East. However, yesterday or a couple days before, I had a prince come to my office. And he was very well-spoken, very elegant, okay? And the prince told me, and he promised me that he could get us into Saudi Arabia and help us overcome these challenges. So I said to him, I said, can you tell me how many princes are in Saudi Arabia? Do you have any idea? And he said, they're all princes. And I said, yes, like this gentleman, he's a prince now. There goes, oops, sorry. So anyway, the point here is, I said to him, is this prince number 5,482, which is official number as of 2012, excuse me, 5,482 princes in Saudi Arabia. This is the official number. The unofficial is roughly about 15,000 royal family members. I said, is he 5,482 or is he number 12? Because number 12 will open doors for you. Number 5,482 is going to slam the doors in your face. So you're not going to get much. The point here is you need to do your homework in the Middle East because not everybody's a prince and you don't assume, and although this is a sort of, it was a serious conversation because this CEO assumed that, and this CEO as well assumed that Saudi Arabia was a small market. When I reminded him it was a G20 member, it changed the prospect. Now, the most important thing here, the other thing that I really basically wanted to drive, I'm running out of time here, is when I get approached by, or when I sit across the table in the Middle East with decision makers in companies in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait, the biggest concern or irritation they have is they'll say to me, we've just emailed this company, we have left messages, we have sent faxes. Why is it nobody responds to us? Why doesn't anybody bother to get back to us? And some of them have gone as far as saying, you know what, we've even thought about sending homing pigeons with some notes on their legs to those companies in the US. This is a big lost opportunity for us and for you and for your companies. What's happening here is, and what I've noticed over the years, is by not responding to these companies are moving in the direction of Asian companies and European companies. When I call up my counterparts at these companies and say, by the way, do you remember being approached by a company in Saudi Arabia? Beginning of the conversation, obviously, they'll usually say, no, I can't. And once we start sort of breaking the bread and getting to know each other, the common theme is these folks will say, these people are crazy in the Middle East. These people are terrorists. These people are people we don't want to deal with because we are doing business in South America, in China. We have great opportunities there. Unfortunately, that mindset is leading to lost opportunities for US corporations. Because as I shared earlier on, there is the consumer opportunity, there is a surplus opportunity, and there's a transition opportunity. And there are 150 to 175 or 400 million consumers, heterogeneous consumers, that want US products, your products. So as they say in Arabic, ضروري إنكم تدرسوا المستهلكين الأردن العرب لأن المستهلكين العرب شعب مهم. شكرا and thank you.